At this point, we're going to spend a little time in the HTML file because we need to talk about some structural tag elements that will help us style down the road. And this is div and span. So we're going to look at div first, and then we're going to look at span. So div stands for division, and it really is a way to chunk up your document into various sections of the page. Some examples would be a div that encapsulates the sidebar of your page, or a div that is the header area of your page where the logo and the main title of your page is, something like this. So let's have some examples. So I can see in this page, and it's a little easier to see if I look at it over here in the English version, I have some repetitive elements. I have a heading 2 followed by some list items, another heading 2 followed by some list items. And structurally, the items that I have currently selected go with the caterpillar heading. So I would like to create some more structure in my HTML to make that more obvious that they are a group. Basically, what we're about to do is group things together. So for example, here I have this H2 and this UL, and these are all part of a group together. In order to group them, I'm going to put them all inside a tag, and I'm going to put them inside a div tag. So the reason I'm choosing div is, well, this is what it's for, really. Let me beautify. Is just to say these things are all a group together. Div is a block level tag, so it's appropriate to define a block of the page using a div. I am going to save and refresh in the browser so you can see what happens. Nothing happens, right? There's no thing that shows anything different happening. This is because divs by default are invisible. But let me make this div a little bit more visible in the CSS for a moment by styling it down here. So for all divs that we see, let's give them a border of 1px solid black. Now I can see where that div is. It goes around everything, this H2 and all of the list inside it. So if I do that again, let's put a couple more divs in around each section. Let's put a div here and an ending div here. Let's do that again for the next section. Ending div here, begin another div, and my div here. This looks like the last one. Okay. Hit the beautify so I get the indents right, and now I've got my divs in place. Refresh, there they all are, one after another. And the only reason I can see these is because I've put a border on them. If I didn't have a border, they would be invisible. So this is a way to group them. Now, why would I want to do this? Well, for example, if I want to put an image on each div, so I don't want to put it on the H2, and I don't want to put it on just the UL, say, but I want to put it on this whole area, then I need a way to define the whole area, and a div is a convenient way to do that. In the next video, we'll see what happens when I put an image on the background of the div rather than on the heading or the UL.